criminal referral for Donald Trump. He said that was very much a very real possibility at this point. I'd love your thoughts on that. And the second part is a story we covered here yesterday, which is that Clarence Thomas once again voted to restrict access by the January 6th Select Committee to records. This one was from Kelli Ward, Arizona Republican chair. The Supreme Court voted. He was in the minority with Alito, but the Supreme Court has allowed access by the committee to Kelli Ward's phone records. Why does he keep acting like someone who doesn't want the committee to see everything that went on January 6th?
Let me tell you, metadata and data is very powerful. When you're talking about Kelli Ward, you're talking about somebody who could be calling, all three triangles of the planning that happened that day, the first being the political side, the second being the legal, and the third being the militant side. So when you have individuals fighting their call detail records or their phone records, you wonder why. And part of that could be there might be one or two calls that go to people that are rally planners that are directly connected to right-wing extremist groups or right-wing extremist groups directly. And did call the White House. So there are White House numbers on there. And who was she talking to in the White House, on and around January 6th? As far as the Secret Service text, what I would like to see is those texts that are missing. I think that's very important. But the before and after can be very powerful. And Luke is right. On the Secret Service text, if they can put that thread together, it'd be very interesting to see who thought Trump was doing the right thing, who was supporting them, and things of that nature. So that's something that I'd be very interested to see. But as far as Kelli Ward, I do think you got a pucker factor for people whose data is out there when they realize that the team that they have right now, the technical team, already has millions of lines of data. And there's already a link system that they connect her numbers into to see those connections very quickly. And it's very, very robust. So I think you see that's why people are fighting. Now, as far as Ginni Thomas and Clarence Thomas, is it really a surprise that Clarence Thomas voted against this? As you know, Nicole, I have a special place in my heart for the Thomases and what we found initially with our technical teams. And I'll tell you this, it's to a point that if there's not more investigation into Ginni Thomas, I just don't know what to say at this point. I think she's key. And when you see the text messages, I was one of the first to see them. When you see those text messages, I think we need to do a much deeper dive into Ginni Thomas and the Council for National Policy and some of the people that she had around her.